Now, live, this is UPN 33 News at 10.
First up tonight, a family races to a South Florida hospital after finding out their 11-year-old son was involved in an accident. Police say the boy was crossing I-95 on his bicycle when a pickup truck slammed into him. For most of the day, no one knew who he was. Tonight, he is in critical condition. UPN 33, Shomari Stone is live in Fort Lauderdale with more. Shomari?
Lisa, tonight that boy has been identified and his family and friends are behind me in Broward General Medical Center by his bedside, hoping that he survives this horrible tragedy. Tonight, Chris is in critical condition. His last name is Davis, Chris Davis. He's unconscious. He's suffering from head injuries, and his family and friends runs to check on their loved one, 11-year-old Chris Davis at Broward General Medical Center. The boy's in critical condition after a truck hit him. He was trying to cross Interstate 95 just south of Davie Boulevard on his bicycle.
As he was attempting to cross, he was struck by a white Toyota pickup truck on the inside center lane.
Investigators say the child was trying to cross the northbound lanes of I-95 right here, and it's unclear why, because if you look over, you can see a barrier separating the southbound lanes, so it wasn't like he could get across the other side. And tow truck driver Mark Jordan arrives on the scene.
We were called to the scene to pick up the bike and the car.
Coincidentally, his son just happened to be riding along in the tow truck and recognized Chris's bicycle.
My son came over and saw the bike, and there was a combination lock on it, and he opened it. He knew the number, so it had to be Chris's bike.
His son Dominic says he was shocked. He's known Chris for 6 years.
I was scared when I seen it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And
Now, the driver who hit Chris has not been charged. State troopers are still investigating. Live here in Fort Lauderdale, Shomari Stone, UPN 33 News.
UPN 33 following a developing story in ILEANA Gardens where police say they found dynamite. ILEANA VARELA live in the newsroom with that. ILEANA.
Lisa, they are not sure whether it is dynamite. They think it is dynamite. It looks like dynamite. It could be dynamite, but they're not sure, and they're taking every precaution because this could be a potentially explosive situation. These are pictures we just got fed in from the feed and turned around for you quickly so we can give you an idea of what it looks like out there. Obviously, they're keeping us far away from this place where they found the alleged or possible dynamite. What happened was some kids were playing in this empty lot in ILEANA Gardens. We're talking the neighborhood of Northwest 133rd Street and 102nd Avenue. They found a box, and in the box, what appears to be dynamite. Again, police have not decided yet whether this is dynamite. And until they decide that, they won't then determine whether they want to move it, the box, or whether they want to blow it up at the scene. So right now, they're still trying to deal with that. In the meantime, they're keeping residents inside their homes, and they're not letting traffic in. So a lot of people, including the mayor of ILEANA Gardens and a councilman who lives only a few houses away from that lot, are being kept away of going back home. That's the situation right now. Again, they're still trying to determine if, in fact, this is an explosive situation or not. We'll let you know if anything new develops. In the meantime, live in the breaking news desk, ILEANA VARELA, UPN 33 News.
After a sunny Saturday, will the rest of the weekend be a washout? Meteorologist Jeff Taylor's live in weather control with the answer. Jeff?
Hey, Lisa. Well, you know, we were expecting to see the showers hold off this afternoon, and they certainly did. We also saw a little bit extra sunshine, but take a look across the southeast. Some strong storms have moved through the panhandle. You can see those bright shades of yellow, even some embedded red thunderstorms there. This was about 12 hours ago when we put it into motion. You can see all the activity making its way slowly to the south. Currently, the line's being drawn right about here, but notice how in the wings, thunderstorms are still making this tail, pushing their way towards South Florida. Another thing to notice is another batch of activity up here in from New Orleans and in through the southeast. What's happened is that not only do we have the first storm center here just below Tallahassee giving us the thunderstorms across Florida, but the second one has already developed out here with an associated cold front, again bringing some additional showers. So it looks like tomorrow could be the day that we start to get a little wet, but it doesn't mean necessarily a washout. We'll have a full look at the forecast in just a minute.
Now on UPN 33 News at 10, police are on the hunt for two teenage suspects accused of shooting a South Florida cab driver. Investigators say the teens opened fire on the cabbie after he picked them up on South Beach. UPN 33's Leave Davalos live outside Jackson Memorial Hospital, where the victim's family is praying he will survive. Leave,
Well, the victim is in critical condition. The family telling us that Carlos Cobo, who's been a cab driver for about 15 years now, has been in surgery for about 3 hours. They're hoping and praying that he survives. A family holds vigil at Jackson Ryder Trauma Center, pleading for the public's help in catching the two young men who shot 53-year-old Carlos Cobo, a cab driver for Metro Cab.
If anybody see or knows about, they can catch them, because I don't know really how my husband is doing.
It was 4:30 in the afternoon when police say two young men in their teens got into Cobo's cab at Ocean Drive and 6th Street, the men asking him to take them to 4030 Northwest 4th Avenue.
Well, when they got here, just near the church, they got out of the cab after it stopped and didn't pay the fare. When the cab driver asked about that fare, one of those two young men turned around, shot him in the stomach, and then they ran off, leaving the cab driver shot in the stomach and extremely critical.
The victim's son, 14-year-old Romero Cobo, got the call from his father minutes after he was shot, and he called 911.
He sounded like he was in a lot of pain, and then he told me that that someone shot him. So like he all of a sudden, like he said I'll try to call you back. Then that's the last time I spoke to him, and then I called 911.
Police say Cobo was not robbed and wonder if the men shot him just because they didn't want to pay the fare.
We know at this point that it's not a robbery because they didn't take anything. The only thing they did was shoot him in the stomach simply because he asked for that fare. At this point, we're still trying to figure out why this would have happened, and we're still looking for those subjects.
And if you know anything about these two men, you're asked to call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. That number is on your screen, 305-471-TIPS. We're live in Miami. Lee Davalos, UPN 33 News.
A 10-year-old girl reported missing has been found. Kimberly Romaine was discovered safe at a friend's house. Police say she went to Edison Park Elementary in Miami this morning for an FCAT workshop, but when she found out the training was on another day, she went to her friend's house. Police were concerned about her whereabouts because another child was kidnapped and raped nearby a few years ago. A second official resigns from the embattled Miami-Dade Juvenile Detention Center. Superintendent George LaFlamme told CBS 4 yesterday he resigned for personal reasons. The center has been under fire since 17-year-old Omar Paisley died of a ruptured appendix last June. He had been begging for medical attention for 3 days before he died. The assistant superintendent who was working the night that teen died was fired months after the incident. A high school softball coach accused of having sex with a student has bonded out of jail. Police say Robert Zinzer lured a 15-year-old girl to his home, gave her alcohol, and had sex with her on 2 occasions. Zinzer worked as a volunteer coach at MacArthur High School in Hollywood. He has resigned. Scary moments for 2 people on board an ultralight plane when it makes a splash landing in South Miami-Dade. That plane went down in Biscayne Bay about a mile off the Charles Deering Estate Park in the area of 167th Street and Southwest 72nd Avenue. The manager of the park says police asked them for help in the rescue.
The Palmetto Bay Police notified us. We came down and they were able to make use of one of our boats to take the rescue crew out to the site.
The father and son on the plane suffered only minor cuts and bruises. Now for the latest in Operation Enduring Freedom. 23 people are dead after guerrillas ambush a police station in central Iraq. The daylight attack in Fallujah freed dozens of prisoners from the compound. The same place attacked Thursday during General John Abizad's visit. He was not hurt. The attack comes at the end of a bloody week in Baghdad, where about 100 people were killed in suicide bombings. Meanwhile, family and friends of prisoners still in custody demonstrate for their release near a prison in West Baghdad. Some 200 people gathered for the peaceful protest. Demonstrators carried banners bearing messages in both Arabic and English. One banner read, "Today is demonstrations, tomorrow will be explosions." South Florida's hot choice for news just getting warmed up tonight. Next, residents on edge in Ohio tonight with word that the highway sniper has struck again. We've got those details. Plus, John Kerry continues to sweep the Democratic caucuses, but you may be surprised to find out who's hot on his trail in one state. Flames shoot hundreds of feet into the air, forcing residents from their homes. We're going to have an update. And shocking new video is released as a high school basketball player gets trampled by his fans. Don't move, we're coming right back.
You're watching UPN 33 News at 10. You're watching UPN 33 News at 10.
In campaign 2004, John Kerry coming out on top once again. The Democratic frontrunner wins caucuses today in Washington, D.C. and Nevada. He released a statement thanking D.C. voters for giving him such a wonderful Valentine. Coming in a surprising second place in D.C., Reverend Al Sharpton. This is the first time he has come in second in any of the caucuses. Ohio authorities are on high alert tonight after a highway sniper strikes again. Police say this is the sniper's 24th attack, and they fear he is becoming more bold. UPN 33's ILEANA VARELA standing by in the newsroom, gathering the very latest. ILEANA.
Lisa, this guy isn't hiding in the shadows. He's arrogant. He's doing it out in the open, and police are very, very worried about that.
From this interstate overpass, target practice continued, and police say the sniper again missed his mark, hitting the front of this SUV. The driver was not hurt.
I think we'll probably all agree that our particular shooter is becoming much more aggressive, much bolder, and letting himself being seen by the public.
At least 4 witnesses saw the shooter this Saturday morning and called 911. They say the 30-something man casually stood outside his dark, compact car, clean-shaven, wearing sunglasses, taking his time to point and fire his handgun.
This is pretty consistent what our shooter has done in the past.
The serial shootings began in May. The latest was just last Sunday. 2 cars hit within minutes of each other. Despite the number of attacks, there has been just 1 casualty. The sniper shot and killed Ohio grandmother Gail Nisley as she was riding in a car with a friend in November.
I wouldn't classify it as a game. What I think it is he's just out there in his intent is to hurt somebody.
And until he's caught, the sniper will continue to terrorize the people of Columbus, many wondering when and where he'll take aim next. In the newsroom, ILEANA VARELA, UPN 33 News.
Residents of an entire Philadelphia neighborhood are forced out by flames after crews rupture a gas line. The flames could be seen for miles yesterday. Officials say the fire also damaged utility poles and underground lines, knocking out power to about 3,500 homes. It took firefighters about 4 hours to put out the blaze, which spread to vehicles, trees, and nearby buildings. Most residents were able to return to their homes early this morning. Authorities have now released the video that captured a high school athlete getting trampled on following the team's basketball victory. Take a look here. You can see the fans running onto the basketball court, piling on top of 18-year-old Joe Kay. Well, Kay was released from the hospital yesterday and will now have to go to rehabilitation after he had a stroke. Controversy is brewing in a Connecticut high school over a proposed White History Month. The trouble started when a group of students began posting White History Month signs over Black History posters. School administrators immediately called for a race relations discussion among students.
I think it is bad because of what was said, because it did offend people, but I think it was good that we show that we can bring up these issues and we can still talk about them.
The White History Month idea started as a class assignment.
Now, time for UPN 33 weather.
Hi, meteorologist Jeff Taylor. Really not a bad Saturday today. We saw some breaks of sunshine. Right now, temperatures are still holding on the warm side. Lower 70s across much of southwest Florida, 70 degrees even in West Kendall, and 68 down in Homestead. But the situation is clearly different up to the north. We have a front that's passing through the center part of the state, and that's giving our temperatures 50-degree readings in through the Panhandle, and 60s from Gainesville, Orlando, even down to Tampa. Now, the winds have been pretty breezy during the day today. Currently, they're quiet down, so that's some good news if you're outside tonight, walking around to eating outside. But there's showers and storms all around us. You can see how the movement has been pressing down to the south, and a lot of these storms are holding on, particularly just off the west coast of the Florida Peninsula. But so far, things are dry for us here in South Florida. That will be changing. A couple things are happening. We're staying on the warm side right through the night tonight. That first low center pressure is moving on through to the coast, and then tomorrow, the second one waiting in the wings. So we're expecting to get a little wet. Overnight, perhaps a shower or two, but certainly tomorrow, we're all expecting to see showers showers and fairly heavy cloud cover throughout the day tomorrow. Winds will be about the same as they were today, fairly breezy throughout much of the day. Our forecast does show those showers out there, but we're expecting things to clear out nicely for your Monday. I don't think tomorrow's going to be a washout an event. We're not looking at strong storms, but certainly Monday is the pick of the weekend. A pretty perfect President's Day, as a matter of fact, with cooler, drier air and plenty of sunshine. There's a fly in the ointment, though, as we go Tuesday into Wednesday. You can see how that front maybe falls apart a little bit. Another low develops out here in the Gulf, giving us a chance to see some showers and maybe a storm or two Tuesday and on into Wednesday before that system kind of clears out. You can see how that storm center kind of leaves this trail of a cold front right through South Florida, perhaps giving us those leftover showers, but otherwise clearing for the remainder of the week. For tonight, expect our numbers to drop down to about 69 degrees. A chance for a shower, but mostly well overnight, not bothering anyone. And then tomorrow, the clouds and the showers around, windy with a high temperature of 80 degrees. Not a washout, just keep an umbrella handy. Boating conditions tomorrow, moderate chop out on the bay, small craft caution with winds out of the southwest at 15 to 20. And through the week, President's Day, very nice. Cool, dry, 74 degrees, a nice looking day. Tuesday into Wednesday, though, some of those showers staying in the mid to low 70s.
Jeff, thanks very much. Well, if you're looking for some artwork or a boat, you are in luck this holiday weekend. The Miami International Boat Show on South Beach and the Coconut Grove Arts Festival, all attracting hundreds of thousands of people.
Art lovers flock to Coconut Grove, some strolling for the atmosphere, others intent on buying. Mark Patchke found the festival accidentally last year, this time planning ahead.
We got stranded in Miami and stumbled upon the show last year, so it worked out wonderful and loved it so much, came back this year.
The Washington Mutual Coconut Grove Art Festival attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to see more than 300 talented artists.
So far, so good. Nice artwork, particularly this. This is wood, and it's a lot of detail on that.
I grew up on Miami Beach, and I always remember this festival as an original, creative venture. It is fantastic.
Festival organizers for the first time are charging a $5 fee, which some say is disappointing.
I don't think that's, after you've been coming here for so many years, all of a sudden they start charging. It's kind of a surprise.
Crowds of boat lovers, meantime, are converging on Miami Beach. Thousands enjoying the 63rd Miami International Boat Show. It is considered one of the largest events of its kind, a 6-day expo featuring some 2,000 exhibitors.
Hey, you still got a few days to take it all in. The boat show is expected to attract more than 150,000 visitors. Still on the way tonight, a fully covered Janet Jackson makes her first public appearance since bearing her chest in the Super Bowl. Plus, next in sports, the Canes look to get sweet revenge on the Florida Gators at Mark Light Field tonight. But first, tonight's Black History Month fact. Today, back in 1867, Morehouse College was organized in Georgia. Famous Morehouse alumni include Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. David Thatcher, and filmmaker Spike Lee. UPN 33 News at 10, coming right back.
You're watching UPN 33 News at 10.
In the spotlight tonight, singer Janet Jackson. She is making her first public appearance since that notorious Super Bowl halftime show. Everyone's been talking about it. But last night in Beverly Hills, Jackson received an award for her humanitarian and charitable contributions. Behind the Bench, an association of NBA players' wives, presented the award. Jackson had not appeared in public since singer Justin Timberlake tore off part of her costume, exposing her breasts during the Super Bowl 2 weeks ago. They have both issued apologies for the incident. Meantime, the stage where the famous Flash took place could be yours for a price. The owner of a Houston scrap metal company has put the stage up for sale on eBay, starting at a bid of $5,000. Pretty good considering the scrap metal value of the stage is just about $1,500 bucks. So far, there has been one bid. It now appears another highly watched performance is at the center of controversy. CBS is apologizing for Outkast's Grammy performance where band members were dressed as Native Americans. The Native American Cultural Center claims that the performance was racist, and they are calling for a boycott of CBS, Outkast's record label, and the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, which sponsors the Grammys. They have also filed a complaint with the FCC. Outkast, by the way, is not commenting.
Now, time for UPN 33 Sports.
Hello, I'm Jill Martin with sports. Well, after the baseball Canes lose Game 1 to the Gators,
Tonight, the Canes say a win for Valentine's Day would be better than chocolate. The $40 million man, Pudge Rodriguez, throws out the first pitch at Mark Light. We'll miss him. Vince Bongiovanni, nasty on the mound. He holds the Gators hitless through 5 innings. Then bottom of the third, no score. Eric San Pedro says, going. Look at this. That's gone. This solo shot puts the Canes up 1-0, and he's strutting home. Then in the 5th, San Pedro again. This time he doubles to left center. 2 runs come in, and just like that, Canes up 3. Talk about sweet revenge. Miami takes Game 2 5-1 to even the series. Well, Alex Rodriguez may be saying, I love New York. Reports are saying A-Rod may be going to the Yankees in exchange for Alfonso Soriano. We'll see. Meanwhile, nothing more romantic than getting hitched at a hockey game, right, Lisa? First period, Panthers down 1 when Matthew Baran fixes that tie game. Third period, Panthers down 3-2. Donald Audette tries to tie this one, but goalie John Graham is not having it. Lightning wins it 3-2. Well, the fans are starry-eyed in LA for NBA All-Star Weekend. Tonight, it's all about skills, starting with the three-point competition. Will Smith is a big Sixers fan, and Sixer Kyle Korver puts on quite a show for him. But first, don't you think he looks awful like Ashton, right, doesn't he? Ashton Kutcher? Well, it's eerie, but I don't think Kutcher has skills like this. Look at him go. Korver makes the finals along with last year's champ, Peja Stojakovic. But in the end, the three-point king is former Heater Vashawn Leonard. Well, the basketball Canes didn't shoot like that today. They are heartbroken after they can't snap their longest losing streak in a decade. Canes say, we can take on Syracuse, no problem. First half, Darius Rice in the corner. Rice sinks 3 of his 14. But Orangemen Hakeem Warwick and Demetrius Nichols turn the court into a playground. Cuse now up 12. A little later, Warwick again. This time he finds Rodrigue Shawe with a baseline slam. Second half, Darius Rice injures his right calf and does not return. That hurts. He was placed in a cast. No word on his status for Wednesday's game. Cuse hands Miami their 7th straight win, beating the Canes 91-74. And former Gators coach Lon Kruger watches his former team lose a close one. Second half, Matt Walsh sinks the tray right here. Gators up by 8. Walsh led the Gators with 28, but LSU comes back strong. Jaime Ureta comes up solid off the glass. Ureta had 19. LSU gets by, beating the Gators by 3. And many diners will hit Shula's Steakhouse on this Valentine's night, but one guy gets more than a steak. He gets turned on. Okay, Lisa, this Mercedes gets turned on, that is. Don Shula presents Bill Henderson from North Carolina with this hot new car. Every year, Shula's Steakhouse presents one lucky diner with a 4-wheel surprise. And you may be surprised to hear that today Shula said that, you know what, he is not interested in the front office job with the Finns. He actually chuckled at the idea. Meanwhile, the Hershey's Kisses 300 in Daytona. Nothing sweet about this race. Lap 14, Mike Bliss loses control of his car, and he takes 8 cars out of the race with him. Later on, Matt Kenseth bumps Ashton Lewis Jr., and he spins in backwards in the pits. And it was the pits for fans. Today, the race was suspended due to rain. It will be continued on Monday. And sports fans, you will not want to miss Jim Berry's Sports Wrap tomorrow night on our sister station, CBS 4. In the house live, former Heater Tim Hardaway and World Series champ pitcher Brad Penny join Tim and I and Jim tomorrow night on our wrap session. And that's going to do it for sports. UPN 33 News at 10 is coming right back. Stay with us.
Finally, on Valentine's Day, instead of the traditional wedding gown and tux, these couples in Thailand wore wetsuits for their Valentine's Day nuptials. One of the new brides even took a deep breath, took off her mouthpiece, and kissed her groom. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for spending your Valentine's night with us. I'm Lisa Cabrera. See you back here tomorrow night at 10. Good night.